right? We've done a lot of that kind of stuff. Sorry, I'm trying to delete some. But I see you.
Are you gonna watch that video?
Maybe. Yeah. We know about this stuff. Okay, we know that this is a giant cloud. It starts to collapse under its own gravity, and then it eventually is going to create a star or two or three or however many that is. Okay. We also know, based on what we've done the last few days, we know a bunch of characteristics of this one. So its color is blue, which means what do we know about this? It's very bright. How do we know about how warm it is? It's very warm. What do we know about how long it's going to live? Not very long. How do we know about how quickly it's burning through its energy? Very quickly. Okay. If we go and we go to this average star, what's an example of this star since it's yellow? Yeah, sun's an example of that one, right? So compare it to the blue one. What about its temperature? Since it's yellow, it's cooler for sure. Okay, is it the coolest?
No.
What color would it be if it was the coolest? It'd be red, right? What about its brightness? Is it bright or dim? Edward says bright.
It's average.
It's one of the dimmer ones, okay? Because if temperature's cool, then light drops. If temperature's hot, then it's really, really bright. How do we know about, what do we know about how long this probably will last? How long the life of this will be? What do you think, Cole?
Maybe like, I'm just guessing, I don't remember. Oh, wait, no, yeah, it's gonna be like around 8, no, like, it's like 10 to the 9th.
It's somewhere around there, which is one of the longer lifetimes that we have. It's 10 to the 9th, 10 to the 10th, something around there, right? It's probably gonna last, I don't know, 10 billion years, way longer than this one, way longer than this one, right? So we know this part. We know what happens when it's here. The rest of this stuff we're not very familiar with. This is the life cycle of a star. Based on how big the star is, it's going to go on one of two paths. It's either going to be a normal sized star and it's going to take that top path. So I know if I see a star that's in that yellow category, I know what I'm going to expect in 5 billion years. So we know and can make expectations or can make, what word am I thinking of? Predictions. Yes, thank you. Predictions about what our sun is going to be in when it dies. Now, if we see a massive star, if it's a huge one, it's going to go in that path. Okay? We're good with stages 1, and we're good with stages 2. We don't know the rest of them. So what you're going to do today is you're going to start looking up a little bit about what happens. Okay? And you're going to put them together somehow. So these are the questions. So this is posted on Canvas. These are the questions. So look up here so you understand exactly what it is. What are the two paths that a star could potentially take? You're just summarizing this path and that path. So I know if I've got an average star, it's going to go from an average star to this, to this, to this, and at the end, it's going to, when it dies, it's going to become a white dwarf, right? What determines the path? So what makes a star become a white dwarf, or what makes a star become a black hole or a neutron star? And then what's happening at each stage? And what happens to make that star move to the next stage? So I know, based on this, if I see a massive star, it's going to eventually, when it grows up, it's going to be a red supergiant. But I want to know what makes that happen. Like if you talk about, oh, you guys go from teenagers to adult, what makes that happen? Technically, it's when you turn what, 18? Mm-hmm. That's what happens, right? And then that, like, you're a high schooler or you're a college student. What happens in between there? You graduate. Some of you guys are like, okay, summer. Stuff happens. So we're going to talk about, like, what's happening in this arrow. What's making it move from a massive star to a red giant? What's making it What's determining if it's a neutron star or a black hole? And that stuff's pretty explicit on there. This is really what you're gonna do today. Step 1. This is easier if you're in a group of 4. A lot of people are saying, I'm just gonna do this by myself and look them all up. That's totally fine too, okay? Groups of up to 4. I'm going to show you a couple of the options that you've got. So this is the thing that you're going to see on Canvas. It's got the picture, it's got the information that you need, and then it's got some potential products that you could make. No, you cannot just type your answer and submit them. Okay, that is not an option. You need something like, so here's an example of how to, which is a very weird thing to say. I'm going to unmute her voice for just a little bit, but I just really don't want to hear it.
Natural selection in 60 seconds. I like bunnies. You like bunnies too, right? Who doesn't like bunnies?
Who doesn't like
Well,
bunnies?
today we're talking
Right.
bunnies and math.
So now I'm going to mute her voice because it's annoying. So this is they give you a template and you can upload pictures, clip art, and then you say, I'm going to do this. It's basically, you're just doing a slideshow, but you can voice it over. So she did natural selection in 60 seconds. Do you think that she can teach everything about natural selection in 60 seconds?
No.
How do you take something that's a huge topic and you put it into 60 seconds? What do?
Summarize.
You summarize it. You talk about the highlights. You cannot talk specifically about detail. So now she's talking about the bunny's tails and how they eventually, they look different, blah, 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 okay? So she did that. That's a super easy. About half the students have decided to do one. There's this other one. These dudes decided that they were going to teach mitosis in 60 seconds. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, they're talking. They did it on whiteboards. They videotaped themselves. They throw some pictures in there. They voice it over. And they talk about the highlights. Could you do that easily with drawing stars on a whiteboard? Sure. Okay. There's some people that are going to do an infographic. No, I don't want to hear you. Okay. Some people are doing an infographic. Some people are going to rewrite the lyrics to a song that was popular in 2009 that I made them listen to the first 7 seconds over and over and over, and it got stuck in their heads and they're really mad at me.
Oh, God.
Oh,
gosh. Twitter in 60 seconds.
Okay, all right, yeah,
We got
my
here.
role play. And every time we get ready to do astronomy, I send this to the other 2 earth science teachers, and they're like, "It's that song again, isn't it?" I'm like, yeah.
I thought I told you I'm a star. You see the ice, you see the cars.
And then I make them play it again. But please look at the watch that he has on when he says ice. And the car.
I thought I told you I'm a star. You see the ice.
Really?
It's a calculator watch.
It's a calculator.
You see the cars. You see the ice. Everywhere we are.
Are you sure that's not a phone watch?
This song was banging in 2009. It's on my warm-up CD, so.
What has happened in the past?
I mean-
oh wait, has it really been 8 years already?
The homeboy makes millions of dollars, so it's
I mean, it seems like a long time. I'm not saying it. I don't believe it.
So you can do a comic strip. Some people are going to do a eulogy, which is pretty fun. I think Egan Smith's group is going to do a eulogy, and that's where, like, at the end of somebody's life, they stand up and they talk about it. So they can be like, oh, you know, Victoria, when she was a baby, she was she just pooped everywhere, right? And then she grew up and she became a teenager and she still pooped everywhere.
I just did.
And then whatever, okay? And then you talk about what they did over their life and what they became and whatever. Okay, so there's a lot of different things that you can do. Probably the easiest thing, if it were me, I would be in either a group of 2 or 4. And there's a lot of groups who are going to 4. 3's okay, but then one person is doing, anyways, yeah, that's fine. And I would say either I'm gonna answer the questions about this path, and then come back together, okay? Because I do want you to know about both of them. So basically, all you're doing is you're saying, hey, here's this diagram about the life cycle of a star. Let's learn some details about it. So that I could say, all right, what is it that makes a white dwarf? Tell me how we get to a white dwarf, and you'd be able to say, oh, well, I know that's gonna be a normal size star. It's gonna go through this, it's gonna fuse this. Once that happens and it runs out of energy, it's gonna become a white dwarf. And it'll sort of, okay? So what we're gonna do, we've got about 25 minutes. I do not know how to split us into groups. Like, I'm gonna let you choose your groups. I'm trying to figure out on Canvas how to put you into groups so that one person submits and everybody counts as that. Shut up. Do you really?
Yeah.
Okay, you need to teach me. Because me and Mrs. Kanaki sat for like
Oh my
hours trying to figure this out. There's like
Trying
4
to
teachers there.
figures.
Okay? So you can't do it by yourself, that's fine. No more than a group of 4. People keep trying to sneak groups of 5. I can see you, okay? So suggestions would be make a copy of that. I'm not actually gonna see the document that you're typing on. All I'm gonna see is your product, okay? So if you're doing it by yourself, that's fine. But other than that, share the document, decide who's doing what, start your research today. It's called Star Life Cycles on Canvas. Victoria, I need you up here to try and teach me this. Okay, decide your groups and go.
There's video on. Wait, are those for Anthony?
Yes.
I just want to get.
I got permission to go back to Miss G's room to do research and then do the thing on my other computer. So yeah, I'm gonna go back to Miss G's room. Yeah, Miss Bernard said I could for the project.
But then how do I?
Are we gonna do like try on a dress or like like try on?
Because that's what I want. When I go to
Oh, yeah.